Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer, and with me today, my fourth round opponent, Chris. Chris, how you doing? How's it been? It's been too long. How are you today?
It has. I am doing really well. How are you?
Good. So we were paired. A quick caveat before we get to our discussion. My round 3, I had the worst headache. I had to go back up to the room, and I actually did not participate in round 3 to this tournament. And I want to make a quick note to, if you're watching, Peter. I was paired into Peter in round 3. You got the 6. I got the 0 because I forfeited. But mainly I just want to apologize because I think the main thing for me about tournaments is when you pay an entry fee at the tournament, you're paying for 5 full games of Warhammer. And I feel like I let down Peter. Peter, I'm sorry if you're watching. I was not feeling good. I was feeling very sick. But the next day, I got a good night's sleep. I felt much better. I ran into Chris, who I got paired into, who was playing Wood Elf Realms. But before we get to that, Chris, what is your Warhammer story? When did you start playing? What was your first army? Lay it on me.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think it was probably around 2021. No, not 2001. So 20 years before that. And a couple of my friends, I went over to their house and they were playing 40K, and I thought it was really cool. I asked them where they kind of got that stuff. There was a Games Workshop store in the local mall. So I went into it, and it was kind of like, I was just a young teenager, and it was kind of cool. Like, the facade on the outside had like this whole castle on it, and there was Bretonian peasants fighting a dragon and everything. So I walk in, and then there's giant Space Marine in the window also, and wound up buying into Space Wolves at that time because I was like,
Space Wolves are cool. Space Wolves are cool.
They are. And especially as like a 12, 13-year-old, whatever I was like, okay, well, that Space Marine's awesome, so I want to play Space Marines, and I can play Space Marines that also have wolves with them, so that's very cool.
Why not?
So I did that. But the second time I went into the store, because I bought the Space Marine versus Dark Eldar starter set when I was first there, started building that up, and then it was like one of the next times I went in the store, I started going on the other side and found fantasy, and that's when I was just like, this is what I want to play. And wound up with whatever money I had in my pocket. I bought a blister of Storm Vermin because I was obsessed with then Skaven very quickly. Yes. And went home with that, told my friends about it, won them over, and then fantasy was our thing. I played fantasy, so it's been then the past 24 years, with only a bit of a hiatus. I got back into 40K around COVID until the Old World came back out, and then I put all that 40K stuff back in the closet and jump back into fantasy.
That's 2 comments to your story. I imagine every Space Wolf talks with a James Hetfield voice from the lead singer of Metallica. That's my personal headcanon. That's every time I hear Space Wolves. But 2, I love that you picked out Skaven. Like, right off the bat, the thing that jumped out at you was Skaven, because in the classic Tolkien high fantasy genre, Skaven is kind of unique. Skaven is not really in any, all the high fantasy settings, and they're weird and they're different and they're kind of gross and dirty. I think Skaven are super cool too. I think Skaven, I don't think Skaven have done they've been done dirty the worst in the old world.
Oh yes. Yes. Skaven are definitely, I feel like, out of the fantasy IP, which we know is an issue for Games Workshop, they're the one that I think is most theirs. I don't know what drew. I mean, I still love them. They're still my number 1 army. I started the Old World playing them, and I went to my first RTT with them, and it did not go over too well.
Hey, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I am a first and foremost Lizardmen player.
Yes,
and the Lizardmen are not a great spot either. But
I was unfortunate that Nova didn't allow Renegades, because that would have helped a bit.
Renegades is a great I don't know if you want to call it player. It's a player comp. It's a great
Yeah.
player comp because it's like, its goal is not to balance the game with these legacy factions, just to bring them up, just so they're not horribly behind.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is to, like, if you're talking about Lizardmen, the Slann is to just make it make sense, because the Slann, the Bell or the Furnace with Skaven, the Cauldron of Blood with Dark Elves, like a lot of those things, like not being able to put them in units doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
And it
and
really
it kills the feel of what it was before. You know, like
yeah,
the Slann in the middle of a big brick of Temple Guard was like super cool, super cool.
Yeah, they're supposed to guard him, and instead they're kind of next to him. But yeah, it's yeah, that sucks that they can do it. Scave and I, after Nova, have been I've been wanting to come out and with 1.5 too, try to see how they play. I think Storm Vermin have a bit more play now with parry. So I do want to get back to them. I know it's gonna be rough, but I love Skaven.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Lean in. All right. Great introduction story. I love that. But we need to get into the battle report.
Yes.
So let's do it. So round 4, the Nova Open 2025. We get paired into each other. You are playing Wood Elf Realms. I am playing Beastmen. This is 2,000 points, as I said. It is close quarters deployment, strategic locations 2, domination, and special feature. So there's a lot of secondaries going on all at once. If anyone is interested in my list of what I took, you can go ahead and click the link right above my head. It'll take you to the round 1 video where we go over my list in a little more detail. But we're just going to go ahead and jump right over to Chris's list. So there's no need, Chris, there's no need to go down this list one by one and tell me exactly everything you took, but just tell me how the list functions. Like, it's what's the big strategy with the list?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Wood Elves, another like childhood favorite of mine, the kind of the army that I didn't have the money for back then. So you'll see actually some old models that I did have, and then some of the newer ones.
Yeah, you got the old dragon. It's awesome. I love that model.
Yeah, that was a recent buy. You'll see like the old Wild Riders. Those are old. The Way Watchers that I was playing as scouts. Those are old. You can see the base converters and stuff. I do love that old dragon though. He looks awesome. But yeah, so it was kind of an all-comer list, and kind of trying to do a bit of, you know, everything traditional Warhammer list.
Yeah.
So and I was also trying to figure out with 1.5 and Match Play Guide how to play objectives of Wood Elves. Previously, I'd always played avoid the enemy and kind of circle around them and pick them apart. But now I have to actually
do that well. Yeah.
Yeah, but now I have to sit on things and stay there. So, so in short, a dragon, because that's kind of Wood Elves' only like real big killing power, I feel. I do have a Glade Lord on a Great Stag that I think caught you off guard too. A couple other people in the tournament. So basically, he's got yeah, Frenzy, Furious Charge, Dragon Slaying Sword, Orion's Favor. So once per game, reroll everything, 6 attacks, and if I get a 6, then he can just straight kill a monster, which allows my dragon to go do something else while he takes care of another big bad, or at least threatens it and keeps it off that side of the board. Spellsinger with the Oaken Stave is literally just magic defense on a Warhawk to just kind of like allow her to run around. Then Core was just trying to score some things. Dryads, I am a big fan of. I don't think that they get enough credit. They're really good at being skirmishers, T4, and sitting on something and not dying.
Yeah, they're not great, but they're not bad. They're just like a solid choice. Yeah.
Yeah, if I need a melee option that can score, I think that they're the better one. Glade Guard, because I have to. Glade Riders are great for getting baggage train, stuff like that. And then Wild Riders, because they're kind of the best thing in the Wood Elf book.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I remember reviewing your list in the list review, and I feel like this is like it's like it's got one of everything. It's got a nice piece of everything from the Wood Elf list, and it kind of wraps it up in the nice little bow. I think the dragon with the Stag Lord is a great combo. And you're right, that Stag Lord is shockingly punchy. Yeah, and I think the scoring units, what you said, the Glade Guard, not the Glade Guard, the Glade Riders are so good at scoring because you see 5 of them, and they run around, and there's core, and I think Wood Elves are actually really one of the better armies at scoring objectives, which is kind of interesting.
Objectives, domination. Glade Riders are awesome because reserve move. They're going 18 inches. They're skirmishers, so they can kind of like zip around in any direction. It's like King of the Hill. That's the one thing I'm terrified of.
Yeah, you don't have that anvil unit to hold a hill.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the game. Deployment. As people who watch my previous battle reports, you know that I don't have a lot of deployment. I'm an ambushing army. And the really interesting, we'll get to your response, but I think, I'm just going to say it right now, you were the one and only opponent I faced who really took my ambush seriously and tried to block all of my opportunities to ambush, which I think was actually a really good move. But my deployment was basically right in the center there. You see the center left. You see the Herdstone. You see my big anvil unit of Bestigors on the right of it, and my gigantic chaos spawn to the left. And that's it. And then my guy who scouts is behind the hill to the left of the chaos spawn. The what am I trying to say? Skin of Man, Bray Shaman. That's what I'm trying to say. So I drop those basically, and then you basically get to respond. Tell me about your thought process when deploying.
Yeah, so as soon as you said tons of things were in ambush, I thought I had a pretty good army for that. I have a lot of drops, and again, 40k experience with a lot of like deep strike and kind of screening that out. I was like, okay, well, I don't want any of those guys near me, so I'm going to do my best to screen out as much of the board as possible, and that way I can focus or funnel your ambushers into spots I want them to be, so I could deal with them as I choose. The thing that really threw me off though is that Herdstone, knowing that it can kind of give you a bunch of buffs and is more scoring points. So we had special feature and the Herdstone. That kind of, you can see, kind of skewed me onto that side. That was a bit rough because you obviously are going to deploy there, but I need to respond in some way. So I had to skew to that side, but then I tried to put kind of, especially a lot of skirmishing models around the edge to start running around there. I knew I had until turn 2 to try to like block off everything except kind of your edge.
Yep, exactly. But you did put the Stag Lord is in the Wild Rider unit to your far right, my far left, and then the dragons on that side of the board also. Basically,
yeah. So what I like about having the 2 Wild Rider units outside of having 2 Wild Rider units is that I put those down, and the Stag Lord with that dragon slaying sword can go in either of them. So that way,
last drop,
yeah, they're just a vehicle for him at that point. So like, you know, as soon as I saw that your giant spawn was on that one side, that's the side he was going to go on. And then I do like the idea of trying to refuse one side and go on the other, which again, your Herdstone kind of, I think, decided that a bit more. But kind of went really heavy on one and kind of just lighter on the other side.
All right, so I can't remember who got first turn. I got first turn. I simply moved up. Nothing too exciting. And the way you responded was you pushed on me a little bit, but still maintained all of your blocking of my ambushing, which I thought was really, really well done. You see the models on the far right image here. Those are your Glade Riders in conga line just blocking the whole table edge from me. Super annoying. Yeah. So what I decided to do at top of turn 2 was I decided to kind of roll against ambushing. So the only unit that showed up was the Ungors with my Hagtree Fetish guy. on the
Hate
left-hand
him.
side, which is
Hate
interesting.
him.
But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. If you look here, this is you set up a trap for me on the left.
Yes.
The eagle's right in front of your Wild Riders with your character in it. I end up rolling high enough with my gigantic chaos spawn to go into the eagle. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the eagle points. I'll go into the Wild Riders. I'm going to ambush and then Vile Tide that unit also. And I'm like, yeah, if I like get that unit down to just the character, maybe my gigantic spawn can take care of that character, right? Right? Of course, I didn't even think about the monster's killing blow. So that exactly happens. I kill the bird. I ended up chopping down the unit to just one guy and the character. And then in your turn...
you Vile-tided him down.
Yeah. And then I killed the eagle. I overran into the unit with this gigantic spawn, and then your character just pops him with one hit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so sad. So sad.
So I have a nice tally
of
all the big guys that he's killed.
Yeah. In turn 3, the rest of my ambushers ambush on, and I put them on my table edge. Because again, you didn't give me anywhere to go on your table edge or the side table edges. So I end up putting the gore unit right in the center to come up and take the herdstone, so my block in the center can continue on and control another one of the strategic locations. Because right now there's only 2 of them, and they're like right in the center of the board, right? There was no
deployment zones.
Yeah, the deployment zones.
You can see.
So
I wanted to.
I really wanted to try to control both, because I knew I wanted to get up on victory points on you. And then I brought the Minotaurs on the right, my table edge, to just challenge your archers. I couldn't think of anything better to do with them, to be quite honest. And on the left, I am just I'm continuing to dodge around my my Bray Shamans and Vile-tiding your dragon as much as I could. And on your side, it's like your strategy was just to stand back and shoot at this point, and then try to get the dragon to kill things.
Yeah, that best score brick I did not want to deal with because of all of the stack minuses. I did need to take out your Vile Tides because they were kind of wrecking me. So you can see I had my dragon pivoted in a way to try to be able to target that Ungor unit even if they marched in any direction. What I didn't realize is what you will wind up doing, and that you'll probably get to in your next turn. Yeah, and then the rest was just archers just kind of peppering everything. I have those one group of Wild Riders, and the Dryads just still trying to screen and see how the battle plays out.
Yeah, and this is the turn I ambush, so you haven't brought everything from the back line up yet. But I think it's a bit odd of an image here, but the dragon's right down there on the left, and I have the Skin of Man Bray Shaman behind him to page south, to below him on this image. And then the other guy jumped out of the unit and went up to the far right. And I think it's an odd image, but I got him out of your line of sight, which is the point.
Yes, I forgot that he could leave the unit. So.
Yes. Yeah, it was getting really fiddly down there, but I was just trying to dodge around you. You took the charge into the Ungors and then ran off the board.
Yeah, the Ungors fled off the board from the territory.
You fled and then you overran off the board.
And I had to, yeah.
And then that gave me, which the sequencing in this game really was really a big benefit for me. It worked out for me in the long run, because then when he's off the board, I had the chance to double Vile Tide your Stag Lord, which I think I kill him.
No, he lived.
I got another one rune and you ran away. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Bravely ran away.
Freaking wood elves. And then I continue to push on you. I'm not going to go to every detail of the game, but eventually your dragon comes back on the board on the very bottom left. I end up Vile-tiding him again. I got him down to 1 wound. And then I think it was in this turn. Oh, no, it was this turn. It was in bottom of 5. You charge me, the Soothsayer, which I like ran away as much as I could, and you roll horrible on your charge distance. And you missed him by like 1 inch, which gave me the opportunity to Vile Tide you one last time, and I killed the dragon.
You got him by exactly 1 wound. He had 1 wound left, and you got exactly 1. It was brutal.
And I really think, looking back at this game, you're like light shooting all of your bows. You were not rolling well, because if you look at this is bottom of 5. You look at my my Bestigor brick, and it's down to half strength maybe. And you were shooting the Minotaurs also, and they took like 1 or 2 wounds. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of, I mean, that's been the theme of Wood Elves for me in general, is that the ballistic skill shooting really does not turn into much. I've been playing with my list since then, and I've dropped the Deepwood Scouts, and I basically have dropped a lot of the archers to just kind of make a more aggressive pressure kind of list, because all of the old world ballistic skill shooting is kind of in a rough spot. Wood Elves don't really have too much to better that.
The only real shooting that's worth taking is our war machines, or catapults, cannons,
automatic hits, magic missiles, if that counts. It's when I'm already like I'm on 3s, range is gonna be 4s. That Bestigor brick then brings me down even further. It's like I'm constantly hitting on 5s or 6s, and Wood Elves are also expensive. If I'm paying 14 points an archer, I don't have that many shots. So when I get 2 through, and then they're strength 3, and Wood Elves, worst enemy is toughness 4, then I might get a wound through with Arcane Botkins. So it's unfortunate.
And then when it came down to the end of the game here, I think this is the last image. We came down to objectives, and I feel like we looked specifically at the rules for claiming objectives and claiming the Herdstone, and it's the closest scoring unit. No, it's it's the closest. So we both put our scoring units within 1 inch of the Herdstone, and then if they're both the same distance away, then it goes to
unit strength.
No, it didn't go to unit strength because we tied this one.
Contested it. I do remember us needing to look it up. I don't remember.
I remember that unit strength doesn't come into it. It's first scoring unit, or it's unit strength 10 or more, and then it's distance.
Okay.
And then beyond that, it's contested, which I think is weird. I think unit strength should matter. Anyway, we ended up. I think I killed many more points than you, but you had a lot more at the end of the game domination points, and you got the special objective in the center of the board because you moved some of your dryads over to claim that also, and that was a big boon for you. So it came down to victory points wise, we were almost tied. And I had, as I said, I had killed more points of you, but you outdid me in the specifically domination and the Herdstone and the special objective or special feature. And I think that was really well done by you. And especially that's something that, as I said in the beginning of this battle report, Wood Elves are really good at, which is really interesting. First of all, fantastic game. Thank you, Chris. That was like one of the better games of the tournament. I had a great time.
Same.
But man, it ended up being a 3-3. Like, in what, a difference of like 35 points? It was crazy.
Yeah, I did not expect that. When you look at the models of the board, I thought I was definitely gonna lose it. Maybe 5-1 or something. But domination really swings matches. And
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Wood Elf mobility and everything allows them to, at the last turn, just zip around and make sure you're in every quarter.
I agree. I think lessons learned from this tournament are like, doesn't have to be core, because domination is not core units. It's just unit strength 10 or more.
It's not even
You need to have a lot.
strength
You can't do
anymore.
bricks. You need to have a bunch of scoring units that can go around and domination.
Yeah, I don't even think it's unit strength anymore. I'm pretty sure it's just anyone, which allows like
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
total
so
unit strength in the table quarter. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So that allows even my spell singer on the Warhawk, who's playing defensive, just kind of sitting in the back. The last turn, she's able to fly 20 inches and just go sit somewhere far away that I need her to be.
Yeah, it's really important. Objectives are much more important in the game now, which I think is actually really good. It's really exciting. How do you think about your list? You already mentioned earlier that you're making some changes. What's the next step for your Wood Off list? Or is it going back to Skaven?
Yeah, so I have an RTT coming up again, and I'm really itching to bring my Skaven out also. But at the same time, I've been playing around with Wood Elves. So like I said, I have a couple lists. There's Wood Elf Realms that I drop the Deepwood Scouts. I have them at 10 models. They're not really scoring anyway. Someone will like plink off one, they have no armor, and then they're not doing much. The ballistic skill shooting too, we talked about, is a bit rough. So I have a couple things that I changed in that list, which is both Wild Riders are up to 6 models, so they have a bit more staying power. I also gave them, one has the Rampaging banner because I have a tendency to fail charges. Especially as a Wood Elf player, I have my wood or woods terrain, and I will start them in the woods to help prevent them getting shot. And then they wind up taking the lowest die on the charge roll, and they can often fail. So that's hit me way too many times, or just rolling poorly. And if you catch them flat-footed, they're gone. If you charge them, they just get wrecked.
That's very true.
Yeah. So a third unit of Wild Riders is something I'm playing with. I'm also trying to bring in Beast Pack models for 19 points. You just kind of dead drop them in the beginning, force your opponent to deploy possibly 4 times before you put something down. That's really useful. But I'd say the big thing that I'm trying to do is use Wild Hunt instead. You don't really lose too much in Wild Hunt. You lose the archers, but again, like I said, I'm not too interested in them anymore.
I mean, light shooting is still important for clearing like chaff pieces and weak pieces. Like for instance, Wild Riders are weak to
like small fire. Yeah.
It's situational and it's not good all the way around. So yeah, I would cut it down, but I wouldn't cut it out. If that makes sense.
Wild Hunt can definitely still get Deepwood Scouts. Then it's nice that you don't have to play the Glade Guard tax, and you can kind of get them with skirmishers, and kind of I think helps them out a bit more. But with Wild Hunt, what's nice is what I'm thinking of doing is, and I could do this in the normal list too, is Warhawk Riders. I had a big problem in the tournament with my dragon not, in 1.5, not being able to go into an infantry block and just get challenged out, lose on combat res, and leave. And had trouble getting another unit to go in with him. So Warhawk Riders, I think having just even a unit of 3 of them to be able to just kind of sit alongside the dragon, both double charge, the champ of the Warhawk Riders takes the challenge, and then the Warhawk Riders can do some stuff too, which is nice, but the dragon just gets to eat the unit.
That's a good call. I like that.
Yeah, that's the big thing I'm trying to add, can kind of go into either list. I'm also playing with the idea, I don't know, the Dragon Slaying Sword is fun. It hurt when I ran into 2 Errantry Crusade armies that had no monsters. So
again, that's situational too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing with splitting him instead into 2 stag captains, because they have first charge, which is nice. So if they each go with the Wild Riders, they turn off ranks, which allows them to really blend a lot more. And they hit pretty hard too. So you give them a great weapon instead. They still have, I guess one has Orion's Favor, one might have Paymaster Coin. And it just means that first combat is going to be really decisive in my favor. And hopefully I'm going to just blend or cause the other unit to flee and just be hyper aggressive. One thing I also learned, so the guy who won best overall, he was talking to my friend at the tournament, the guy I played doubles with, and he was saying that when it comes to strategic locations, they're only 30 points a turn, and that is every player turn, so it can be 60. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're paying a lot of points just to sit on those, you might just make that unit's points back, but it's not doing too much. So he's like, just don't worry about it. Just be aggressive and worry about killing things, and then domination is a whole other story like we talked about.
That's true.
But,
that's a good point.
Yeah, so not like the Glade Guard, if I have to do the 5-man tax, do that. Put them in a line so they actually take up less board space, and since they're all just ranks of 1, they can all volley fire, which is an awesome trick. If I do need archers, obviously Glade Riders I still love, Deepwood Scouts, but instead just kind of be not the Wood Elf style that I'm used to, but just be hyper aggressive. And it's kind of the list I'm trying to do is like turn 3, I'm either going to know that I'm going to win or I'm going to lose really badly. Because
I like that though. I like that. That's fun.
I've charged in and I'm still there and you're gone, or I'm just completely gone.
All right. That sounds exciting. I'll definitely follow up with you and see how that new list goes. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for jumping on this battle report. If anyone is still watching, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you at the next tournament.
Awesome. Thank you.